I promised Mr. Cherkassky that we would not ask him to make any speech, but I know we're all interested in the wonderful career that he has had, and I thought because of our interest, Mr. Cherkassky, in automatic musical instruments, I'd like to start off by asking you if you can recall when and how you made the duo art recordings. As I understand it, it was sometime in the 20s.
Well, all I remember, it was in New York somewhere near Fifth Avenue. That's all I can remember.
Near Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
I believe you made these recordings on two separate occasions. You made three in the early part of the 20s and three around 1927.
Possibly, yes.
You don't recall that?
Not really.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't like to lie.
Uh-huh. We have asked other honorary members whether they were paid for their recordings. You recall whether or not you did this gratis, or were you paid for your services?
Well, my parents knew about that. I didn't get the money then. I do now.
I see. You had come here from Russia, I believe, in the early 20s. Is that right?
That's right.
Uh-huh. Did you start studying music in Russia, or was it when you came to this country?
With my mother, until I came to this country then.
I see. Your mother was a graduate, I believe, of the Petrograd Music Conservatory.
Right. Yes.
And then when you came to this country, you settled in Philadelphia, was it?
No, New York.
In New York.
But I studied with Hoffman in Philadelphia.
Studied with Hoffman in Philadelphia. Any others?
No.
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't.
I thought I recall the Peabody Music Institute.
No, I went to Baltimore to start with, but I haven't studied then.
I see. Would you mind telling me, how old were you when you made your first concert appearance?
Well, that was at the age of 9 in Odessa.
At the age of 9
Yes,
in Odessa?
Yes.
Goodness me. And in this country, how old were you when you made your first concert?
11.
11. And do I understand that at one time you were asked to come to the White House to perform there?
Yes, well, it was long ago.
Long ago?
President Harding. Yeah.
President Harding?
Yeah.
That was before my time, I think. Then, following your studies in New York and Philadelphia, did you then embark on this concert tour?
Yeah, I was sort of a child prodigy.
Child prodigy,
Yeah.
yes. Well, you certainly were if you were performing at 9 and 11.
But I'm glad those days are over, because most child prodigies don't develop, and there's a very dangerous stage between child prodigy and when you...
One of the things I've been impressed with in our correspondence is the number of places from which you write me. Where have you been performing these concerts? Name some of the countries for us, would you?
I probably write to you more during the holiday time.
Well, I know I've gotten a letter from you from Thailand. Have you a concert in Thailand?
No, I played there only twice, but I go there every year for a holiday.
And South Africa? Do these people understand?
South Africa must have been a very long time ago. I wouldn't go there. I may go there now. Not that I don't approve of policy. I didn't write you from South Africa, did I?
I thought I got a card from you.
No.
No?
Well, it doesn't.
How about the Orient? Have you performed there?
Yes.
Where in the Orient?
Hong Kong, Japan, and Thailand. I've been to other countries.
About how many concert appearances a year do you...
well, especially this season must have been about 75.
75 in this current season?
Yes, since beginning of October.
Most of us were present last night and heard your wonderful concert at the Davies Symphony Hall. Where do you go from here?
To Ottawa.
And you perform there?
Then New York, and from New York straight to Finland.
To Finland?
Yes.
And concerts in each of those places?
Yes.
And then what?
Then Germany, Holland, Bulgaria.
I'm tired trying to keep up with you.
Then holiday.
Then a holiday. Where are you going to holiday this year?
I don't know.
My guess is Bulgaria.
Well, because I'm there already, so...
I have a suspicion that that's where you are going to end up.
I'll start.
What do you do with your spare time?
Travel.
Is that a hobby of yours?
Yes.
What other hobbies avocations do you have?
Not many.
Well, I know of one.
Travel.
And that is you like to study timetables.
Yes. I subscribe to, I don't know if you know about ABC Airways Guide.
The guide, yes. You lay out your own itineraries, do you? Uh-huh.
I'm far better than most travel agents. They don't like me.
How much time do you devote to practicing for these concerts?
During the summer, no. Oh, what? Of course I practice. Very much. How can you perform without practicing?
An hour or two? 5 hours?
No, but about 4.
About 4 hours a day.
Well, Hoffman, my teacher, said, if you can't do it in 4 hours, you can't do it. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
No, it's true. Always remember that, because some young people come and play for me. They I practice 6, 8 hours a day. So I practice 4. Maybe 4 1/4, but no more.
I've been impressed by your prodigious memory. How do you manage to
Well, that's
memorize
automatic. So many people say, memory, that's something comes automatically. People say, what is your method? I have no method.
Now, I know you practice. I know you like to have a piano at the concert hall
and
practice
in
your
too,
dressing room.
I'm staying at Mark Hopkins. I have a
You have a piano there.
Wherever I am more than 2 days, I must have a piano, because it's a terrible bore to go out.
Oh, yeah.
People say, well, why can't they go across the road? You know.
Now, last night, did you have a piano at Davies and practice before the concert?
Yes, I did. And during intermission, too.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do many pianists practice during intermission?
Well, I'm different.
Yes?
You don't. I mean, everyone is different. You probably like, all of you probably like different drinks, different food.
Yes.
So there is no special.
I see. When you practice, say at intermission time, are you playing the numbers that you are going to play, or parts of it, or are you playing scales?
I have my. It's mostly psychological. It's just to play fingers between the notes, passage from that piece. But if everybody would overhear me, they would think I was crazy. No, that's the way.
You mean you talk to yourself while you practice?
Nothing matters. It's resulted.
I see.
I hope I have good results. So.
Well, I was amazed at your performance, your technique last night, and how you covered these.
No.
What does your hand measure compared to mine? Is yours as big as mine?
No,
how can you?
Yours is very big.
How can you handle some of the?
Give me your right hand. Not like this.
All right. Goodness me.
No, my stretch is almost as big as yours.
It is.
Yeah.
I noticed last night.
Deceiving. Yeah, they look small, but they're not.
Well, that must come from practice and development over the years.
No, with the stretch.
Yes.
Not really.
Well, it'd be natural for a big person like myself to have a big stretch, but it's amazing
But
that you...
know, most pianists, a lot of pianists have small hands. It's a mistake. People think they must have long fingers, big stretch. You know, there are a lot. Look at Alicia Del Rocha. She has a tiny, tiny hand.
Well, how does she manage chords and octaves?
Marvelous.
Just bridges them.
Wishes.
I noticed in a photograph of you that you had, seated at your piano, you had a hand on your piano.
Yes,
Whose hand is that?
Anton Rubinstein.
Anton Rubinstein's hand.
Yeah. You saw that probably in the album of the record.
It could be some photograph.
Yes,
let's see. Hoffman was a student of Rubinstein.
That's right.
And he passed away, what, late 80s, like 1800s?
No, I think 57.
Rubinstein?
No.
No,
Not Hoffman. Oh, Anton Rubinstein.
Yeah. So that was before your time. But Hoffman, I know, passed away in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other people that you studied with?
Well, very little, not really.
How long does it take you to prepare for a concert? You come up with a new program every season, don't you?
New? What do you mean?
New numbers, for example.
Well,
you
probably things I played before and after it, and of course I do learn.
You had the Cherkassky Sonata last night, for
which
example,
I haven't played long time.
And you had Lully.
The only thing, Mendelssohn, this particular Mendelssohn is the first season that I'm playing it. I've never played it.
Do you have a favorite composer?
No. It's too much good music. No, I can't say one is better.
I have a feeling that Godowsky rates pretty high in your...
No,
you play quite a bit.
You're quite wrong.
Really?
It's, Well, he was a genius at arranging things.
Yes. You've also done some composing, I believe.
No.
But we're going to play one number in a little while that you composed.
Yes, that's only one. You mean Prelude Pathétique?
Yes.
Well, that's the only thing I ever did. And I played for Rachmaninoff, at an early age, and he was very impressed with my playing. And he said, "Do you compose?" I said, "Well, as a child, I did." And he said, "Well, but now I don't." I think it was. He said, "Well, if you compose as a child, when you grow older, you will compose again." But he was absolutely wrong. I have no intention.
You have no interest in that?
No.
Uh-huh. That's very interesting because What other hobbies do you have that we may not have covered? Do you like traveling? You like reading timetables? You like
geography? And I'm very interested in human nature, the way the way you think, the way I'd like everyone. I'd like to know what goes on in their minds. I think that helps me to play the piano.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, when I come out, and sometimes if I'm bored, because you play every night, you go to a theater. You can't be at your best all the time. You try. So I said, well, tonight I'm bored. I said, what can I do to be in the mood? I said, well, I imagine somebody sitting in the 14th row. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but music, I'll play to that person. Oh. And this way I get stimulated.
I see. You'll actually view or see out of the corner of your eye?
You can't be enthused every night. When you play every night, you have to... have to invent things, and sometimes I'm accused, sometimes even by the critics, that I play differently every time. And now I'm not so, like for instance, if I play a concerto, and I play it in the morning one way, and then suddenly, in the spur of the moment, I play it quite differently. And some conductors say, well, why didn't you do that this morning? How am I to know you're going to play crescendo here? When I can't help it. It just comes unintentionally.
I see. Well, that's very interesting.
Interesting, but not always very good.
Is it possible that one of us could go to 2 consecutive performances then and hear you play the same number differently?
Well, I have some people travel with me sometimes.
I see.
And I play the same program. They think I play like a different pianist every night. Not better or worse, but just different.
I see. Very interesting. Listening back to your old recordings, do you feel that they were well done considering your age at the time?
No, I don't record well at all because I need people, I need an audience.
I see.
Recording is, to me, sort of not cold-blooded, but then wait, green light, play. Sorry, Mr. Cherkassky, we have to the tape play again. I can't sort of lose myself. I'm not very good at making records. I play much better on the stage.
Well, you've made several records. And,
well, I'm not very...
which is the latest one?
The last record is good.
Which is that?
That's the Pictures at an Exhibition.
Pictures at an Exhibition?
Yes, with Nimbus in England. That's quite good.
Well, I have Kaleidoscope I like very much. And
yes, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Last night you played Hoffman's Kaleidoscope.
Yes.
And that's on this record, and it's...
Well, I think I played it better last night than it's in the record.
You did?
Yes.
I couldn't tell any difference.
Actually, the record is quite good, the Kaleidoscope.
And then you played Hoffman's Wine, Women, and Song.
No, that's Godowsky.
Is that Godowsky?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Do you like Wine, Women, and Song?
Yeah, that's a very good arrangement.
How about in real life, Wine, Women, and Song?
Well, not the wine.
Not the wine.
Leave the wine.
How did you enjoy our new Symphony Hall last night?
Beautiful.
Did it bother you at all to have people sitting around you and back?
Not at all. I like that.
Uh-huh. Is that similar?
People sit right next to you.
Really?
Yeah.
You more or less forget that they're even present.
No, I don't mind that at all.
I see. Are there other concert halls like that with people sitting on stage more or less? Yeah.
quite frequently.
Do you have any one concert hall in the world that you've enjoyed more than any other?
I can't say that. One of my favorite halls is in Vienna.
Oh, yes.
Musikverein.
That is a very fine
Well,
one.
and just recently, as a matter of fact, on the 1st of April, I played in New York 3rd of April, but 1st of April I played in Frankfurt, Germany. And they renovated the old opera house. That's absolutely fabulous.
You mentioned that you're going to give a concert soon in New York.
Yes.
Can you recall the date? Some of us may be in New York and would like to.
Well, I just played in New York, and I play 1st of May.
1st of May.
Same program, so don't come.
Why not? You say you play differently. Well, we'd enjoy it. Well, you've had an interesting career. We're certainly grateful to you for sharing not only your wonderful talent and ability with us, but your presence here this evening.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
And I'm sure that those of you who have not yet had an opportunity to meet Mr. Cherkassky would be happy to shake your hands and answer any question I may not have asked. Thank you very much. Appreciate your